What a journey it's been, from planning out the swimming pool to buying the walls to digging it to getting the base installed to getting the walls built up to designing and installing my own folding pool cover. We are finally here, possibly the most nerve-wracking video I've ever made on this channel, putting a swimming pool bag liner in and getting the whole system purged and in use. So don't go anywhere, this is a great video and for reasons you'll find out at the end, a very emotional one for me. So we're back in the pool. This is something I've never done myself. I'm a humble plumber, but I've watched some videos on YouTube, and as you guys all know, that's the best place to learn. Max, I'm very nervous about this. Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous.
Max isn't nervous. Never, are you? The liner has been in my office overnight, heating up to 30 degrees because it needs to be warm. We've held off doing this until the weather is warm because the liner manufacturers recommend we do it above 15 degrees. Today, we're talking about 20, 21 degrees. And this is just going to be a mad day. First thing I'm going to do very quickly is just hoover out all these tracks. Jimmy, hold your horses. We need to go back a few weeks first to before we put the first stones around on the patio. We've got all the brickwork in, that's all done. And I'm also getting in all the track around the outside, and I'll be showing you how I do that in depth in a few minutes time. But I just wanted to tell you that I've latexed the floor. Now I've used special latex for this. So for that, I've used Silkafloor 131 level. This is specifically for use outdoors and also for heavy traffic. So you can use it to finish off garage floors and things like that. I kind of thought it'd be perfect just to smooth out all the imperfections that we had in the floor before we put our underlay down. But look, as you can see behind us, we've got all our wooden beams in now. All our hardcore is now in, ready for the patio. So let me show you how I get all my liner lock installed. So what I'm using is top mount liner lock. So if we have a look closely on the edge, you'll see there's a nice little sort of groove that it can sit in just there. That's what our liner is going to sit in. And this is the reason I had to put this lot in, was because I wanted to have good anchorage points all the way round, because I suppose you could say the weight of the liner is going to go on that, but that's not really the case. Once the pool's filled up, the weight of the water is pressing outwards. It's not just dragging downwards. So I'm going to get the rest of this in, and I'll show you very quickly how I do it in depth. First things first, with your lock, just cut the ends properly because it comes cut by someone who doesn't care about cutting stuff straight. So cut that end first before we then measure over and get our mitre. Now I can just butt that nicely up onto there, and we're leaving a few mil of a gap. I've just been using this to gauge that. I've got a little pencil mark on here because that will then take the depth of our underlay that we've got going along the inside wall just there, all right? And we've also got to do the same when it comes to measuring our mitre at this end. So we butt that up there, then we can nice and accurately mark exactly where we want that to be. So mark that there. And then I always put a little line, just indicating which way I want the mitre to go. So here's what I mean, here's our mark. So I'm gonna be using my beastly Boss saw just to chop this. There you go, perfectly on that line. Beautiful. Next, just give the section that I'm working a quick hoover up. This is a chance for you to laugh at my very bad mortar work, but there you go. Not a bricky, thank God. Speed of the X Pro all the way down here. This is real belt and braces, guys, and screw it down. So this will all lock into here. Once we're done, let's get on and do it. So I thought it'd be a good idea for you guys to see that and know what I had to do to get that little track in. So let's fast forward to the present day. So hopefully this will just hold it. So I had to stick on some underlay, which does one of two things really. It gets rid of all the impurities that you might feel underfoot or underneath the vinyl wall. It protects the vinyl wall from anything underneath, just in case you might have left something under there, like a tiny little bit of stone or dust or something like that. I mean, really, you shouldn't have done. You should have hoovered it out a gazillion times like I did before we started filming on this day. But also what it does, it allows it to be nice and squidgy as well. So you've got that lovely kind of cushioned feeling underfoot when you're walking along. I know you like filming, Max, but come on, give us a hand. The problem was, when I went online to look at underlay for swimming pools, specifically for that, the price per metre is about 10 times more than what it is for what we're fitting here, which is underlay for AstroTurf. So that stuff's designed to be outside, it's designed to be in wet conditions all the time, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to use that. The plan was here is just to use a adhesive gripper foam, let it go off tacky for about 5 minutes, and then we stick on the underlay on top of there. And it was getting hotter and hotter as well, so once that happened, it started to kind of warp a little bit in the sun, which is a bit annoying. So what we did, we used some pins to pop on there while it went off, and then remove those pins out once it had gone off. At this time as well, I thought it was a good idea to grab the massive parasol thing that I'd bought and bring that round as well, so that would give us a little bit of extra shade. I was very, very happy with progress. Once we got the walls and floor all installed, it was then time to actually prepare the sumps. So for belt and braces, I put down some silicone and then the actual sump under seal. So this is the rubber gasket that I'm putting on here, just making sure that that's stuck down, ready for the next and most terrifying stage, getting the liner out. I've never done anything like this in my life. I don't know what I'm doing. I really, really hope that my measurements, because I measured this, are correct. Let's find out.
Ready?
Yeah, cheers, mate. So, what have they wrote on here? Skimmer end. Right, so when this was made, I measured this, so if it doesn't fit, it's my fault, unless they haven't made it to my measurements. I'm sure they have. This is their duty. They've marked this as the skimmer end. This is obviously the skimmer here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to try, basically we've got to get it in so we know that our joins and everything are right. There's going to be a lot of moving about, getting stuff in the right position. There's not really a lot. At this point, the batteries in my microphone ran out, which was probably a good thing. So the first thing we had to do is actually get the bag liner at the right end. As you saw there, it was marked skimmer end. Then you've kind of got to orientate it because there are 4 sides to it, and you can see those sides in the seam cuts that they've done when they actually make it. Another thing is the material can actually stretch to 200% of its current size, which means they actually make it slightly smaller, so when you fill it up with water, it stretches out into the spaces. Honestly, I don't actually know what I was worried about. Once we started doing this and getting it all in, there were a few expletives to Max, who kept giggling behind the camera, and I was like, Max, can you just give me a hand, please, mate? I'm getting really quite annoyed with you. It all went fine. Yeah, it was a lovely day. Really enjoyed it. So now we got it in position, we needed to now figure out how we were going to get rid of the wrinkles. This is when a vacuum cleaner comes in very handy. And there it is, my massive Bosch Hoover. Gaffer taped around the top where the skimmer is. Does look a little bit like that scene out of Spinal Tap.
Do you have any artificial plates or limbs?
But the Hoover I was using for this is perfect because it doesn't actually overheat. It could just run literally all day like that, sucking out all the air behind, and then I could go around with my feet and wheedle out all those little wrinkles. Max, well done. That was a good shout. Why do we not just do what the professionals say? Well, that's ready for water, mate, don't you? Filling the pool up. I can't believe it. The little bit there. Once it's filling, I'll say in it. Wow, man. Isn't it mad? Don't you feel like, whoa, it's been such a long time to get to this point? So having watched YouTube and seen other people do vinyl liners online, I knew I had to wait till there was about an inch or two of water in the bottom before I started cutting my sumps in. Don't worry about those wrinkles behind me, they all came out once the pool had started filling up more and the water was pushing out into those corners to get rid of them. The hardest part of this was finding the sumps themselves and also then finding the screw holes and also just cutting them with a very sharp standing knife and not dropping it and just not making any mistakes. I took plenty of time over this, even though the water going in was 14 degrees and my feet were getting really quite cold. Got those rubber gaskets over the top. I knew that my bottom gaskets were going to be in the right place because I'd glued them down already, and it was just all that forethought that goes into doing jobs like this always comes together at the point when you need it to. You just have to do the forethought first. Now again, because I've been online and actually watched videos of people do this already, I knew that I didn't want to cut in my bottom outlets, the lights and the top outlets until the water level had actually reached those outlets. So we spent the rest of this day filling the pool up, every so often popping the hoover on so it sucked out, and also lighting the barbecue. Right then gang, it's another day. I didn't leave it filling up overnight because we've got some stuff that I needed to do on the outlets. So let's just turn this on. I've marked out all my outlets with just a little bit of gaffer tape. So the bottom outlets are going to be needed to be done now. And then I've got to do the lights after we filled up for about another 2 or 3 hours. Any minute now, we're going to be cutting in our bottom outlets that I've just marked there, the couple of bits of gaffer tape. So it's going well, guys. Look how beautiful the pool's looking. Isn't it just sweet? So to get the outlets in, first you've got to find them. I obviously gaffer tape mine. I pulled the gaffer tape off and then very, very carefully with your finger, feel the edge of the outlet hole and then go around it like I did with a really, really sharp standing knife. There is no margin for error here. One slip and that standing knife will go straight through the vinyl, perhaps in the wrong place, and you've ruined your vinyl or you've got to make some sort of puncture repair. Now, I made a mistake here with this because this has got a sticky back on it. I should have just stuck that on before I put the liner up, but I haven't, and this is where we are now, so that's life. So I had to then just feed it through the hole that I'd cut. Then I could find the screw hole. Then I could put the plate and the gasket over the top, screw those both up, put the decorative plate on, and I was finished. I did this 4 times, and if I ever did this again, which I'm probably not going to do for about another 5-10 years, I would definitely stick my gaskets on first time. I had to do exactly the same thing for the lighting, although the lights were a nightmare because I don't know who designs these lights. They screw up so far into the conduit that I fitted, so I did have a few problems doing this, but I got it in the end, and I also just belt and braced it all with a bit of PTFE on the thread as well, even though it was actually sealing on some flats with some rubber gaskets on the back there. Now I had a long wait for the water to fill up towards the skimmer level so I could do that. So in the meantime I added all my filter media, which is basically specialized glass. It used to be sand, but they use glass now. I had 3 25 kilo bags of that to put into the filter. Also, while I was waiting for this to be done as well, I shut off the valve to the filter and filled it up with a hose from the top, and also did the same with the pump. So we were ready and primed to turn the whole system on after I'd done the skimmer. So it's a bit warmer in here now because it was getting up to a certain height on a man where you don't want cold water, all right? They were sort of clutching themselves away. They were like, oh dear. So yeah, I'm just going to get these 2 top ones cut in. Then we'll have a look. I'll show you exactly how I'll do this skimmer because I don't know. I don't know either. On this really quite chilly Sunday in 19.5 degree water. So we've got 2 seals to go in, a seal at the back, seal at the front. It's pretty straightforward really. I'm just going to read the instructions to make sure. And yeah, oh dearie me, it's cold. The skimmer is just like everything else. Find out exactly where the skimmer lip is, cut away with a very sharp standing knife where you don't want your vinyl to be, pop the underside gasket on, the top side gasket on, and then the fascia plate. And then obviously after that, drop the screw into the freezing cold water and then have to go down underneath to get it up again. And it is chilly. All right. Oh, I'm cold now. It's now time to fully purge the pump and get the whole system working. This is a majorly stressful moment for me because all this pipe work I've laid in, I have pressure tested it, but you just never know, do you? So obviously our water level is there, and that is the same for the pipes that come off to the inlets just here, but also up from our skimmer and our sump. So what we need to do is turn the skimmer off, turn the sump off. Let me try and create a little prime. so that now the water's not falling all the way back to the pool again. It's staying up here. And if you want, I can demonstrate it for you now. If I open that valve up, this water level is going to drop down. So say let's do the skimmer. Look at that. Because it's just going back to the skimmer. It's going back to its happy level. So I'm going to fill this up as far as I can. I'm going to want a few buckets to do this. Make sure that our O-ring is nice and clean. Pop this on top. Do this up. Set this valve here to filter. And what I'm going to do is use this app to go to the pump and then set this just to circulate, turn on, because at the moment this pump will only come on when the air source heat pump is cooling, which obviously I haven't had running yet. So confirm. Right, so it's about to come on then. I just turned it off. So what I've got to do, and this is so good that as a plumber I'm like, oh, I completely understand this process. It's so sort of easy for me to do. We turn the pump on, and then before the pump's built up a load of pressure, what we want to do is suck up solely from the sumps. So that's what this one here. We know all the pipe work going back to the sumps is pretty much empty now. So this is going to take probably 5 or 6 cycles of us doing this. So turn the pump on. It's going to run up. Open that. Oh my God, it's happened first time. Whoa. Oh my God, that's so good. Slowly open the skimmer up. Let's see if we can get it back from the skimmer. Now the skimmer's struggling. I'm happy with the sump though, so I'm going to bring that more shut. So if you look there, you can see the water flying out, but we really want this water to be right to the top of this little window here. So I'm going to shut the skimmer off, add a bit more water, get that right full to the top. God knows how long this must take if your plant room's like 2 or 3 meters above the pool water level. It must take ages. Wow, look at the water coming out of here. Oh, look at that. All the air coming out. It's purging all the air out of itself. Oh my days, this is so good. There we go, gang. Sucking nicely. Woohoo! So guys, there you go, all purged. And we're filtering. Got water filtering about in there. Probably more of that out now. Pressure's sort of in the green. Nice. Oh, it's all working. I've got the sumps on half, skimmer on full. This is on 2,500 RPM. Quality. Oh my days, everybody. Can you see that? 33.5 degrees C. Just check out what that looks like on the old thermal camera as well. That's sweet, isn't it? Time to dive in, everybody. And I'm filming this now in October. And what's keeping it warm? All that insulation underneath that cover. What a journey it's been, from driving up to Sheffield to buy the walls, to digging in the baking heat, pouring the base just in time for it to pour down with rain, getting the walls and pipework installed, having loads of help with the patio, designing and inventing my own folding pool cover, to finally getting the liner in, getting everything filled up and getting it powered up too. An emotional moment getting in here for the first time. And if I'm honest with you, I've been using this swimming pool all summer. My friends and family have enjoyed it. We've had an absolutely great summer in here, and I'm just so happy and so proud. I remember walking up the garden while my friends and family were enjoying the swimming pool one hot summer's day this July, and just having a smile on my face. It's absolutely brilliant. So there you go, the pool is now finished. And and I'm really, really happy with it. I'm really pleased. But unfortunately, finishing the pool off is also tinged with quite a lot of sadness for me and my family, because about a month ago, my brother-in-law, or my brother pretty much, suddenly passed away, and he helped us to dig this pool, and he helped me to lay the patio, and he helped me to do a lot of things on this, and he was really proud of us. He did enjoy spending time in this swimming pool with me and Ted and his sister and everything, and we had some great parties in there, but it's just tinged with sadness knowing that he's never going to be able to enjoy any more splashes around with my son, his nephew, or to come around and enjoy times with us here. So I dedicate this whole series of videos to Tom, my brother. You died far too young. I love you very, very much, and I miss you a lot. Miss you very, very much. We all do. But thank you very much for helping me dig this swimming pool and for supporting my channel from the very, very first video back in 2011 or whenever it was, and supporting everything that me and your sister and now your nephew have done. I will never forget you, and I dedicate all these videos to you. And I miss you. Sorry guys, that was really hard to edit and explains the delay that there's been in the videos about the swimming pool. You can also donate to my brother's Movember page by clicking on the link below. In the next video, I'll be talking about how much this whole project cost me, and also how much it's costing us to run the swimming pool on a weekly basis, especially now that we've entered autumn. Something I think you're all going to find very interesting. Members of the channel can watch that now. You can support the channel and become a member and get early access to videos by clicking the join button. You'll also get access to live streams and posts as well. Thanks ever so much for watching so far, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.